Hi there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael. Today we are going to be talking about one of my favorite books that then became one of my favorite movies and is now one of my favorite graphic novels, and that is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. This is the 2006 post-apocalyptic cannibal book that has a lot of heart in it, and I absolutely loved it. So let's get into talking about it. A father and his son walk alone through burned America. Nothing moves in the ravaged landscape save the ash on the wind. It is cold enough to crack stones, and when the snow falls, it is gray. The sky is dark. Their destination is the coast, although they don't know what, if anything, awaits them there. They have nothing, just a pistol to defend themselves against the lawless bands that stalk the road, the clothes they are wearing, a cart of scavenged food, and each other. The Road is a profoundly moving story of a journey. It boldly imagines a future in which no hope remains, and which the father and his son, each the other's world entire, are sustained by love. So yeah, while this book is very bleak and sad and disturbing, it is also very inspiring and warm-hearted, I'd almost say, underneath it all. So yeah, we're following the story of a father and son who remain unnamed through the story as they sort of work their way towards the coast and have to suffer through probably one of the worst environments that people could ever suffer through. There is cannibal gangs roaming around, and there's no food, there's no sunlight, there's no animals, there's no leaves on the trees, everything is covered in ash. It is a brutally cold and sad and depressing world that these people are stuck in. So we're following along with them as this father kind of takes care of the son and tries to give him sort of life advice on how to handle the world and how to work its way through. I admittedly read the book after I watched the movie because I loved the movie, but the book definitely took the cake as far as the top tier of the items that have come out by him. So this was my first Cormac McCarthy book. I've since read a couple more of his. They're equally depressing. There goes Hero. So yeah, I do recommend this book. It is harsh, it is sad, and for someone who's sort of, if you have a strained relationship with your father, or if you're missing a father figure in your life and having this kind of man sort of try to really shield his son from the horrors, but also teach him about it, can be very, it's very touching, and a book worth reading. And yes, that is Hero over there, stealing the show, obviously. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about The Road, the movie. So this is my Blu-ray copy of it. So this came out in 2010, again based on the book, directed by John Hillcoat, starring Viggo Mortensen and another fellow young boy, I can't remember his name. He was also in the American remake of... sorry, he's slurping in the background. The American remake of Let the Right One In Vampire Story, which I don't think I ever saw because I was kind of a purist when it came to that when it came out. But yeah, John Hillcoat is a wonderful director. He also directed another film called The Proposition, which is another fantastic, dark, gritty, Western type movie that I also recommend if you get a chance to see. But this has Viggo Mortensen as the father and Charlize Theron as the mother character, who you don't really see too much of. She is in this, but it sort of sets up the mother being around when the things are starting to fall apart in the society. The movie is... oh, there we go. Cody Smith McPhee on the front. There it is. Big letters. And Robert Duvall is one of the sort of like beggar that they find on the side of the road. So the movie itself, it's very dark. It's bleak and gray, and the colors are saturated out, but it's supposed to be like that because of how horribly ugly the world is now with this ash that's fallen. It's never explained what happens. It's environmental or war, not sure, but pretty much there's very little humans left. It also has one of the best soundtracks. Nick Cave and Warren Ellis do the soundtrack for this, and it is beautifully sad. And if you like Nick Cave and his work, it's depressing and beautiful at the same time, which is kind of Nick Cave's thing. They also did the soundtrack for The Proposition with John Hillcoat. Combination just perfectly works together. And so this is a recent acquire of mine, which is why I kind of decided to make this video. And that is, I received the Road graphic novel adaptation by Manu Larsenet. This wonderful large hardback copy with wonderful illustrations throughout. This follows the book closer than the movie does, but there is fantastic artwork in here. If you want a sort of bleak world, this guy captures it perfectly about how horrible everything is. If you can just take a look there, some of the cityscapes they've got, it's just crumbling infrastructure, buildings, cities set to ruin, and our characters roaming through it. There are some very disturbing imagery in here, a few sequences of cannibalism. But this really does capture just how horrific humans can be. But yeah, this book, it's my first of this fellow Manu Larsenet. I know he's done a few other graphic novels over the years. I think he's a famous French artist. But yeah, if you like The Road, I do recommend also jumping into this book. If you don't have 2 hours for the movie and you don't have, a few days for the book, I blaze through this in like 2 evenings. You could probably do it in one if you're fast at looking at things. I like to sort of savor each brutal, sad scene in the book. But yeah, this is a fantastic book, and I do recommend that. And I'll just talk briefly about some other Cormac McCarthy books I have that I recommend. The one is No Country for Old Men, which is also made into a movie. This one is following a man who happens upon sort of a drug deal gone bad, and he ends up stealing like a suitcase full of money, and there's a killer following him. And then there's a old sheriff that's sort of trying to follow the whole situation. He's kind of one step behind the whole way, seeing all the chaos that comes from that. Fantastic book. Other one I've read of his is Blood Meridian, or The Evening Redness in the West. This is a little too bright there. Anyway, Blood Meridian, fantastic, dark, brutal Western, following a few peoples in the Old West. There is so much violence in this book. They've talked about making this into a movie. I'd be fearful of seeing what they make on screen with this, because there is just nasty, brutal killing in this. But if you like to read that, pick up the book. And then I've got 2 of his books that I haven't read yet. So I'm going to leave that to you guys if you can recommend which one I should try next if I am going to get back to Cormac McCarthy. I've got a copy of Child of God, which seems to be about, sort of a man in East Tennessee. More violence, obviously. And then I've got All the Pretty Horses, which was the beginning of a sort of a cowboy western trilogy. This is not showing up at all, is it? Anyway, All the Pretty Horses. There we go. They made this into a movie. I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard this is good as well. Okay, so that's it for today. Again, I recommend The Road. If you want a bleak world full of cannibals and sad stuff and sad people and depression, and you want to just have them walk through this world experiencing it, then I do recommend Cormac McCarthy's The Road. One thing I forgot to mention, he writes with no punctuation. So it's just like you kind of experience the story as if you're just hearing everything. It doesn't explain it, but very well. But the experience of reading it is exciting because it kind of gives you that, like who's talking, and you sort of interpret how things are happening. So it's very good. So yeah, that's it for today. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you recommend them as well, or if you want me to have more hero in the videos, if he's willing to show up for them, of course. Okay, so that's it for the day, and have yourself a good rest of your week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.